just very disappointed about the results of the election and what this means for women, for people of color, for low income people, for immigrants, legal and illegal, just kind of everyone. People with disabilities, anyone that Trump does not like. He has literally said time and time again that he's going to be a dictator from day one. And it's very heartbreaking that so many people put what they think will be better for the economy, which it won't. Nobel Prize winning economists have said that his policies would be a disaster. The tariff is the most idiotic thing that I've ever heard of. That's just going to be the consumer paying. So they've said that grocery bills will probably go up about $6,000 a year per person. As well as everything else that's imported, which is pretty much everything in this country. The plan to deport all the illegal immigrants would cost the country trillions of dollars, which we don't have. And I'm assuming that's why he proposes the tariff, so he can try to pay for that with our money. And it would also just be devastating to the economy because, first of all, even illegal immigrants pay taxes. Like, they put money into Social Security and Medicare, and they don't ever get it back. And they're also a very fundamental part of our economy. They do a lot of the work that Americans typically see as just non-desirable. Like, we wouldn't have any fresh food. We wouldn't have, like, hotels being staffed. We wouldn't have, like, there's countless jobs that we would just no longer have. And they're already saying that there's a worker shortage. And now I feel like most women are going to be scared to get pregnant or try to have a baby, because if they end up having a fatal defect or the baby dies, the fetus dies inside them, and they will die if it doesn't get taken care of. Doctors aren't going to treat them. I mean, even in states where they're typically blue, very liberal, he's going to put a nationwide abortion ban in place. He's going to try to do away with the Marriage Equality Act. He's going to do away with the Department of Education, with democracy as a whole. He said he's willing to take out any opponents politically, and he won't stand for that. I mean, even the fact that he said that he wouldn't need votes in order to win the election. Just everything about him is disgusting. He is a convicted assaulter, someone who has defrauded the American people millions of dollars, someone who has defrauded the elderly, someone who has literally crushed every single one of the businesses that he was given. If he had done nothing with his money and just literally kept it in a bank account, he would have made so much more money than he did using it for all of the companies that he started that all failed. He had 2 casinos fail under him. How the hell does a casino fail? It just doesn't make sense. And people think that he is a good economic prospect, that he would be better for the American people. Now there are just mass cases of racism, sexism, homophobia, violence against all of these groups of people, and people didn't want to vote for Kamala because of Palestine. Or because she's a woman or a person of color, and now everyone is going to suffer. Um, People say that under Trump the economy was so good, but guess what? He put more money on the national debt than any president. And quite literally, like the past few presidents together. Um, his policies are horrible. He just gave tax cuts to the 1% and made it so there was less regulations on food, which is why we're seeing these mass cases of um, E. coli and listeria and all of these food-borne illnesses, because he lowered those regulations. He did a disaster to our environment, and experts are already saying now, without things changing, um, we will not be able to grow crops after 2020 or after 2050. So this is going to be devastating. This is going to be horrible. What he did was he even raised the price of gas and oil because he was bribed. This man has done so much horrible things. He got rid of so many jobs. He replaced pretty much everyone in the government almost immediately, and he's planning on doing that again. The people that were his aides are coming out and saying, do not elect him to office. People are just willing to believe whatever BS they see on the news, and it's so horrifying because that means that everyone is going to suffer now. I mean, the economy that he had wasn't his. He got that from Obama. He was under Obama's tax plans. Under Biden, guess what? We were under Trump's tax plans, and we will be until 2025. And now, thanks to the millions of Americans who voted for him, we're going to be onto that for the next, 4 years or more, because he's already said he's not willing to back down. And he's already said he's willing to be a dictator. So you just got rid of all human rights in this country, and made life that much more miserable for all of these populations, but also you, because now you're going to go broke because he's a shitty, horrible, he doesn't have any good economic plans. If you look at any of his policies, they're awful, and they just screw over the middle class and the poor and make everything so much worse for everyone, while giving these big companies and the 1% all these tax breaks. It's really, really depressing. And honestly, I think it's frustrating. I don't see how things will move forward. I don't see how there will be hope for the future. Obviously, I'm going to keep trying, but it's seeming a little bit bleak, a lot of it bleak. And honestly, I'm for B movement in the U.S. I once thought I was straight. I am very much not straight, and I would never turn back. I think you do not have to be with men, even if you're not attracted to women. Like, you doesn't mean you have to be with women if you don't want to. Just, you don't have to be with men. Men that support that, people that believe in those values. You don't have to keep them in your life. It's not worth it, and it's gonna make everything so much more worse for everyone else. Best of luck to everyone. It's gonna get real spooky.